it is.
Yeah, it just notified me as well.
Awesome.
Hello and welcome back to Better Than Yesterday. My name is Daniel Hammond and I'm joined by my good friend Marco Janse van Rensburg. And bro, tell me how it's been going, bro.
Daniel, been a while, man. Good to be back on Better Than Yesterday. Hope all the listeners and viewers from home are doing very well. I'm doing pretty well. I'm sort of nursing a bit of a flu at the moment. So if my voice is a little bit different from usual, that's why. But being well, thanks, man. Had a couple of weeks break from university, but back on the grind now. As you guys know, I'm a software engineer student. So yeah, doing a couple different modules this term, but it's been going well. But excited to talk about today's topic here, man. Investing strategies. I think it's going to be yeah, something cool to talk about. But first of all, how have you been doing, man?
I've been doing great, bro. Unfortunately, unlike you, I haven't had a break, but I'm looking forward to finishing off my semester in the middle of November. We're just busy with exams at the moment and finishing off our last couple of assignments. So that's been what I've been busy with this last couple of weeks, bro. And I'm excited to talk about our investing strategies, the short, medium, and long term, in our general view as kind of inexperienced beginner investors. It's been a journey that we've had so far, bro. I think I must say there's been a lot of new information that we've gained from going on this path, and I think they like if we look at our money and what we have available now, it does show that investing is really beneficial, man.
Definitely, man. Yeah, I think to sort of talk a little bit about where we are at as investors. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I think we started investing. Something we talked about a little bit before. We only started investing probably beginning of this year. It's something that we spoke about earlier. We wanted to invest in gold and that kind of stuff, but realistically, the journey only started beginning of this year. And like you say, the growth has definitely been there. And in terms of the strategy, I think we've spoken on this channel about like long-term strategies, but I think what we wanted to discuss today is the three different types, and three different reasons almost of why you should invest. And the first one is like short, which is looking towards basically trying to get something out of investing right now, And I know you know quite a bit about like buying and selling like in a quick sort of time frame, man. Tell us a bit like about the short term strategy of investing and like how you can use that as a young person.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, there is this buying and selling strategy called scalping, which in which I understand as you look at certain opportunities where, for example, you'll buy a certain stock. It can be a stock, it can be a coin, and then you buy it at a certain price. Then you keep your eyes on it and the market, and if it goes up even just by like 2, 3, 5%, then you sell it, and then you look for another opportunity, and you basically do that during the month, and then you see how much money you've accumulated. So that's a short-term strategy which you can use instead of just buying a stock now and letting it grow over the long term. You busy buying and selling it in the short term to see how much profit you can make off of it for the month or for a week,
Yeah.
depending on your goal. That's basically how I understand the buying and selling market, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a good strategy for people who have the time to constantly be looking at the market. Because obviously you got to be checking like to see has your coin peaked. If you think it's going to go down again, that's when you want to sell it. So it's good for young people who have time on their hands and have maybe smaller amounts of money. I would say it's also something you want to do with smaller amounts of money to like you say, just make those quick profits here and there. Second thing, man, is medium term investing. So this is when you're putting money into different investments. Let's say this is more likely to be in something. It could be a form of cryptocurrency like Ethereum, or it could be, let's say, like a stock for example, the Satrix 40, which is the top 40 companies in South Africa. It could be the JNP 500, that's the American version, you know, could be a bunch of different things, could be a business. But basically, it's looking towards investing for a period of about a minimum of 3 years towards like 10 years. That's sort of the medium time frame. But yeah, you know, and the average of that is basically 5 years. So when you're investing medium term, you're usually looking at you know, goals like you're trying to save up for, and you're trying to put money aside for example, maybe buying a car. Could also be trying to get a mortgage at some point, whether you're trying to get an apartment or a house. Maybe in 5 years' time, you want to be married and have all of those things in place, you know. So it's sort of like investing, you know, a lot of people do saving, but obviously investing, you want to be putting your money into like safer long-term investments. And then in 5 years' time, when you're thinking, cool, now I'm trying to find someone to settle down with, let's say I'm trying to get a mortgage, get a car, all of these kind of expenses that come along with doing that kind of thing. Um, you will have had a bunch of money that's been sitting and growing slowly for the last 5 years. And you want to be putting larger lump sums into medium term investments. And then over that period of 5 to 10 years, you'll see like slow growth, you know, whether it's putting in 50K now and then by the end of the 5 years, it's worth like 75K. I think that's a very like worthwhile investment, you know, and it's a strategy that a lot of people use. And it's something that
Mhm.
me and Daniel are looking to do as well. You know, another example of what it could be for, you know, maybe even slightly more relevant for really young people like us is like you could be putting money aside for the 3 years while you're in college to then go traveling for a little bit while you once you finish your studies. You know, that's something that me and Daniel
Yeah,
have just been speaking about as something that we're interested in. Is that you know, maybe these investments that we doing now can keep growing for the next 3 4 years while we're studying, and then once we are finished, you can withdraw that money and use some of it to go and travel the world, make some memories, you know, experience new things. So there's a lot of different reasons why you could use a medium term strategy of investing, but it's very very useful and super worth doing. It doesn't require half as much like looking at the market. You're basically putting large amounts of money into, obviously you want to research the investment and make sure it's a good one. But once you've done that, you can pretty much forget about it for the next 5 years and check on it every now and then, you know. But when
yeah.
it comes to investing money for like long term, bro, like let's say a much larger time frame, not 5 to 10 years, more like 20 to 30 years, what is the basis of why you'd want to do that? And you know, what are your views on that, man?
Yeah. So just to before I get into that, just to quickly go back to the medium term,
Mm-hmm.
there's um there's circumstances where people don't really have like 50K lying around, like
No,
in
for sure.
terms of being students. So then you can also use another strategy, which I think we've been using, is where you put in a certain amount of money monthly.
Yeah.
So it still like accumulates, and
Mm.
then it gets to a big amount. So in the medium term investment, you can start with like a 50K, or you can start with small amounts of money, which over like the monthly period which you're investing can grow into something larger. So
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't take as much time as buying and selling, where you have to be looking at the market constantly. So you can just like also pick out a stock which you want, or an type of coin, and then each month you just gonna add more and more money into it, and then see where it does accumulate to. And then getting into the long term, so it all depends on the goal which you have. And I think Michael and I have this dream, or this goal that we want to achieve, of becoming like making investment a source of our income. So whereas we start investing so much that it comes to a certain point where we'll be getting dividends or rents from if we go into property, like each month we'll get a certain amount of rent from people, where it becomes a source of income and we can actually make a living off of our investing. And then there's also the long-term investing, where you invest for your retirement fund. So you invest maybe to retire early or just to have a really comfortable investment, or yeah, a really comfortable retirement because you've set aside a certain amount of money. And obviously, you can do that by going to a fund like Alan Gray, where they do it for you, or you can use the more hands-on approach where you try and gain information and invest on your own, where you look into stocks. Because I think having the hands-on approach, you can really see how much your money grows, but because it's the same process as what these financial institutions use. They also go and put your money into a certain market, but then because they are like the middleman, they have to take their profit and gain off of that as well. Whereas if you put in the time now and you start researching and gathering skills on how to invest, you start seeing, okay, where to invest, and you have that knowledge the of the investment like world, then you can do it yourself, and then in the end I think you can make a bit more money off of that.
I
So
agree.
I think that's where it comes into the long term. And one thing is really important is that you set you have a goal that you want to achieve with investing. You can't just start because investing is investing, but having like the foundation or the basis of knowing I'm going to start investing because this is what I want to achieve with investing just makes the process so much easier, bro.
Yeah, like that's very true, man.
Yeah.
So basically, to sort of summarize, when you're going about investing, there's no one strategy that you have to use. You can sort of do all three because if you're looking to use investing as a strategy of using your money for the rest of your life, there's going to be points where you want to make a short-term investment. Maybe you see an NFT that's doing really well right now, buy it at a certain point and then sell it. We've all got those medium-term goals of getting your first like big like nice car or whatever it is. So, and then the long term, everyone wants to be comfortable and have some freedom when they're older to still have a nice like standard of living, and that's why you invest for the very long term. So there's a bunch of different reasons why you're going to be investing, and hopefully we've sort of given a good little background on how you can use these three strategies of investing, at all different points in your life for all the different goals. And what me and Daniel would recommend is write down what it is you want to achieve with your investing in the short term, in the medium term, and in the long term. For Daniel and I, we've sort of like put down what that means to us, and for you, you're going to have to decide that for yourself. But yeah, man, I think that was a cool conversation. And like you say, when it comes to the long term, what me and Daniel see it as is it really can become like a form of income. You see these guys that are just like investment brokers, and they have portfolios that are so big that their whole source form of income is just um, taking dividends from the different shares that they hold, you know, properties that they invest, they get money from. So that it really can become something that just gives you so much more freedom in life. If you're getting, investing, in my opinion, is the definition of making your money work for you because, it just gives you so much more freedom instead of having to go to a 9 to 5 job and get your money from the sweat off your brow. You can make your money work for you and actually get it to the point where it's making you a very standard form of income, man. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I know. So what I'd like to just add on that before you conclude for us, bro, is that there's always a start, and you can always start any single time. But what I'd like to say is that it's better to start earlier and learn from the process now. So I think as most of our audience might be younger people, it's good to start now and build that skill while we still have some form of support from our parents. We can invest and learn and make mistakes now, and then later on I think we would have forged a good skill to keep on going forth with this program or this process of investing. And I think it's just something really beneficial in this day and age where inflation, where we in Africa have a lot of inflation, and life is getting more and more expensive by the day. So I think we might come to a point where a 9 to 5 job might not be enough, and then you need
Yeah,
something else. So yeah, so it's not that you don't have to work, but it's just that investing is going to support you. So it's
yeah,
just going to be another source of income that's added to your 9 to 5 job, so that you're not just reliable on one source, which can be taken away any day. You never know what happens. So then you always have this cushion or the safety net. And I think that's why investing is such a good skill to have, or it's such a good habit, or yeah, it's just something good to teach yourself. And yeah, in terms of investing as well, it has, because it has the short term, it has the medium term, it has the long term. So there's so much possibilities in it. There's like a whole world to explore, because you can go into cryptocurrency, you can go into stocks, you can go into real estate, you can go into buying shares within a company where, like you said earlier, Michael, if you own the majority, you can become the owner of the business.
yeah.
So there's so much that you can do with this, bro.
Amazing stuff, man. Yeah, I think we've covered it all there really well, man. Yeah, let us know what your guys' thoughts are on investing and what your plans are as a young person, wherever you are living in the world right now. Let us know in the comments below, and yeah, just give us your thoughts on investing and why it interests you. If these investment strategies are something that you're looking to use. But yeah, that's me. That's it from me and Daniel. It's been an amazing conversation to have with you, man. Hopefully, people can learn from this. I know it's been a cool way for you and I to sort of explore our own strategies. But yeah, man, we'll be coming out with a video hopefully sooner rather than later. We want to keep it as consistent as possible. But the Instagram has been pumping. Hope you guys are enjoying the content that is being put out on there at better than yesterday underscore ZA on Instagram. But that's it from me and us. Hope you guys have an amazing one.
Yes, thank you. Have an amazing one, and thanks for supporting us on Instagram. Recently, we've hit 100 followers,
Yeah.
and we would just like to keep growing and impacting people. And by this growth, our reach is just becoming bigger. So thanks for joining us, and we like to see you next time. Remember to tune into our podcasts as well. Thanks.
Cheers, man.